You know, they say the worst presentation is a long presentation. There is nothing more awkward than watching someone give a terrible presentation, and in my 20 years, I've seen them all. You know, some people are all hype, and people are just sitting there going, oh my God, this feels like a setup. Other people are so boring, you know, it's just like, you know, they probably want to leave. If they weren't giving the presentation, they'd walk out. And so, you know, giving a good presentation is an art form, and there's 3 major keys to giving a great presentation. You've got to be able to inform, entertain, and inspire. You got to have great content or you're just babbling, okay? Have you ever let your presentation run too long because you know it's not going well and you keep trying to fix it? And so you got to have great content, okay? You got to be able to entertain the audience, because if it's not fun, then they're not going to absorb the information. They say there's a security guard in front of all of our heads, and that security guard basically blocks out information. I'll give you a perfect example. I'll prove it to you. 6052 South Street, Cerritos Auto Square. I know exactly how to get there, and I've never been there, and I've never bought a car from there, but it's a jingle. You see, because my security guard in my brain was entertained, that information got in and it stayed. Now, if you ask me about math or what happened 3 years ago on, let's say, August 7th, I have no idea, because there was nothing emotional attached to that information. So you got to have great content. You've got to be able to entertain the audience so that it stays in. But I've seen presenters do great at both of those, and at the end of the meeting, everybody had a great time, but no sales were made because they weren't able to motivate that person to action. If you don't inspire the audience, then you basically wasted your time. And it goes in order of difficulty. You know, giving information is one thing. Entertaining the audience is a little more difficult. Being able to inspire people and move them to action is the hardest. Now, I've been doing it in over 30 countries for the past 20 years, and I believe I'm the best presenter on the face of the planet. Now, I hope other presenters feel that way about themselves, but I have never ran into an audience that I wasn't able to inform, entertain, and inspire. I did a presentation in Malaysia for 5,000 women wearing burqas, and all I could see was them blinking, and I still did a great job. And the reason why is because I'm authentic and I'm honest when I'm on stage. As soon as you try to impress the audience, you know, when you get in your head, you're dead. Everything has to be authentic and from the heart. Now, there's going to be times when you're giving your presentation and you get nervous and all the drawers are going to lock and you're going to freak out. You can't access any of the information. Even though you've practiced it, even though you know your stuff, you're going to get nervous and it's going to freeze and you can't access the information. Well, when that happens to you, there's little tricks to get yourself out of it. And I'm going to cover all this kind of stuff. I'm basically going to give you the HTML behind the website. You see a website and you go, wow, that's beautiful. But what you don't know is there's a whole structure and a science behind the website that makes it look like that. So it's not magic. It only looks like magic until you know how it works. So I'm Clif Braun, and I'm going to give you guys a free webinar teaching you exactly how to be an incredible presenter. And literally, people will go, man, I saw their presentation before that, and then they'll see it after, and it'll be night and day. I've been training presenters for 20 years, and I've had people that were so shy, they got up on stage and they were stuttering, they couldn't even say their name, and within just a couple hours later, they're like powerful on stage. So I'll see you inside on the webinar, Clif Braun. You know, I think everybody in sales and marketing would like to be a good presenter. You know, if you're a good presenter, you get your point across, you inspire people, you give them great information. And so I'm going to give you a webinar for free, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to give a great presentation. And I've been giving presentations now in 35 countries. I've done it for 10,000 people. I've done it for 2 people. You know, I've done it all over the world. And there's 3 keys to a great presentation. You've got to be able to inform, entertain, and inspire. You know, you got to give them good information that's relevant, okay? You got to keep them entertained or they're going to get bored. You know, they say there's a security guard in front of all of our heads that basically blocks out information if you don't scare him or tickle him or do something, but you've got to entertain your audience. There is nothing worse than giving a presentation to a whole bunch of people that are just staring at you blinking, and then you get nervous because you're not feeling the reaction from the audience. And what happens when you get nervous is all the drawers lock and the information gets stuck and you can't get to anything. You know, that's going to happen to you eventually on stage if it hasn't happened already. And there's some simple tricks that you can use to immediately take the pressure off of yourself, unlock all the drawers, access the information, So you've got to be able to give people good information. You've got to be able to entertain your audience, and you've got to be able to inspire people. You know, I've seen presenters that do a great job, really good content, and they can entertain the audience. Everybody's laughing and having a great time, but they don't close any sales because they haven't inspired the person to move to action. So that's just 3 things. There's probably like 20 different things that you're going to learn in this webinar about how to be a truly amazing presenter, how to be authentic and attractive, how to deliver a message, how to control the audience, even how to handle a heckler, okay? And so I'll see you guys on the inside. I'll see you on the webinar. And you know, today in 2016, I don't think there's a person in the world more qualified to teach you how to be an amazing presenter for an audience of any size than myself. Clif Braun, I'll see you on the webinar.